Sonic's Last One Night Stand. A Pokemon and Sonic the Hedgehog crossover written by Hamo Hamster. It's rated M. It's in English. The gender is romance/horror. And the characters is Pikachu and Sonic. And our story begins. One autumn afternoon, Sonic the Hedgehog was taking a nice walk in the forest. He and Tails was going to get married in 2 days, so he wanted some alone time to think about their union of holy matrimony. He curled up into a ball and zoomed up a tree so he can enjoy the landscape. The leaves were bright red and orange, and the sun shone on them, making them appear like each tree was on fire or made of the finest gold. Sonic sat on the branch and sighed. He loved Tails, but he was going to miss the bachelor lifestyle. Maybe, if I can have one more one-night stand, I can be able to live with Tails happily ever after. What he don't know won't hurt him, right? Just when he said that, he saw a Pikachu playfully chasing a butterfly out of the forest and into the field just off Sonic's left. He stood up and shielded his eyes from the sun so he can get a better look. The Pikachu was beautiful. Its yellow fur was short and smooth and gave off a golden glaze that was unlike anything Sonic ever seen. Its brown eyes gleamed in the sunlight and its cheeks gave off a red glow. It looked as if it just evolved from a Pichu, but it was still a child in Pokemon standards. Sonic felt his cock grow as he watched the Pokemon play so innocently. He couldn't tell the gender of the Pikachu from his standpoint, but that didn't matter, because Sonic was pansexual and the Pikachu was getting him all hot and bothered by its beauty. He knew that if he ever wanted to be happily married to Tails, he would have to unleash his sick lust on this Pokemon. In a flash, Sonic ran down the tree, through the forest, and stopped 20 feet behind the Pokemon. It hadn't noticed his presence, so Sonic could stand behind it to inspect it further. At this standpoint, Sonic could see it was female. Her pink pussy jiggled as she hopped up and down, trying to catch the equally beautiful butterfly. The butterfly consistently had a very similar color scheme as the Pikachu. Sonic slowly followed the Chew as it played in bliss. Sonic fantasized fucking the Pikachu senseless. He imagined grabbing the nicely formed hips of the underage Chew and lick her tight, hairless pussy. He imagined sticking his huge cock deep in her virgin cunt and unleashing his seed into her womb. Sonic slowly approached. He stepped on a twig, catching the Pikachu's attention. The beautiful Chew stood and watched Sonic. She tilted her head to the side inquisitively as she gentle chirped, "Pika?" "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just walking along and saw you playing, my cute little Chew. I come in peace." The Pikachu stared at him. She'd never seen anything like Sonic the Hedgehog, and she crept to him in sheer curiosity, again chirping, "Pika?" Sonic approached the Chew with his hand out like one would do when meeting a new dog for the first time. "It's okay. I'm a nice guy." The Pikachu stopped in front of Sonic, sniffing his hand while keeping his head tilt. Sonic slowly and gentle placed his hand on the unsuspecting Chew's back. The Pikachu flinched back at this touch of Sonic. It didn't know what Sonic was, but it had a sense that Sonic wasn't exactly, quote, a nice guy. Its hackles raised and it backed away slowly. "Pika." "Don't be afraid. I'm your friend." Sonic approached slowly at the Pikachu. Sonic could feel an electric static charge when he approached the Pikachu. Sonic stopped and felt something inside him crack. "I'm your friend. Why don't you trust me?" The Pikachu slowly backed away. Then suddenly it ran. Sonic grew pissed and grabbed a nearby rock and threw it at the retreating Pokemon, knocking it out cold immediately. "Dumb bitch! Now I'm going to take you and I will not be gentle. He went over to the Pikachu and rolled it over to her back. It had 6 nipples and a nice plump pussy at the bottom. Sonic immediately started biting on the Pikachu's nipples like some ravenous beast. He dug his teeth into one of her nipples and ripped it off, swallowing it whole. The pain and shock of getting her nipple ripped off woke up the Pikachu. She screamed and started to scream. Stop screaming, bitch. You're just turning me on more. And he grabbed the Chew's neck and started to strangle her into unconsciousness. In the struggle, Pikachu was able to give out a thunder shock as an almost instinctual defense. Sonic felt the electricity course through his veins, down his arms, to his chest, where it split into 2 parts. One part went down his chest, down to his groin. The other one went up his spine and into his brain. Both electrostatic shocks hit his cock and his brain at the same, giving Sonic a mind-blowing orgasm spasm. During Sonic's most intense orgasm he have ever had, he continued strangling the Pikachu until it passed out. Sonic rubbed his weeping cock on Pikachu's beautiful plump chest while keeping his hands on the Chew's neck. He made sure he rubbed ejaculate all over its nipples while bucking his hips. Yes. The feel of the Pikachu going limp in his grasp gave him a thrill so intense his cock remained hard. When he was sure Pikachu was unconscious, he flipped the Pikachu on its back, with her head facing him, and stuck his huge cock down her throat. Tails never deep throats. Let's unleash some pent-up frustration on this yellow cunt face. And started ramming the poor Chew's mouth violently. He knew there was a possibility that his strong hips could snap to Pikachu's neck, but he didn't care. All he cared about was how small and tight her mouth and throat was. Her little fangs scraped violently on Sonic's dick, drawing blood, but he ignored the pain and used the blood as lubricant. Fuck. And Sonic jizzed deep into the unconscious Pikachu's mouth, making sure to hold her head up so she won't choke on his cum. Only after, when he slipped his cock out of her mouth, did he notice he shredded his dick like a cheese grater in a cheese in a cheese grater. It hurt like hell, but Sonic's penis was still hard. He cussed the Pikachu as he watched his own blood drip off his dick. Fucking bitch whore, I'll teach you to shred my cock. And he took a nearby rock and started smashing the Chew's teeth. Every single tooth the Pikachu had was bashed out of her mouth and collected by Sonic. Gonna make this into a necklace later. After he made sure all the teeth were stored aside, he took his fingers and played with the blood that dripped out of her mouth. Again, lifting up her head so she won't choke, he turned the Pikachu around so she was on her tummy, but now her ass was facing him. He used the blood on his fingers as a lube as he jammed his middle finger into the Pikachu's asshole. Though it was dripping blood, his cock twitched as he felt the heat of the unconscious Pikachu's rectum on his finger. It was small, much too big for his cock, but he didn't care. If I can only come one more time. He took his finger out, rubbing the blood and shit that was on it on Pikachu's back. He roughly entered the Pikachu's breech, finally waking her up again. Pika! Shut up! And Sonic punched the Pikachu in the back of the head, cracking her skull and knocking her out once again. Sonic chuckled evilly and grabbed the Pikachu's hips, ramming his super hard bloody dick deeper into the Pikachu's ass. His cock never felt anything like Pikachu's hole. It was so hot and tight. Sure, Tails' ass is really nice, but this has to be the best hole he has ever fucked. Sonic tilted his head back and groaned loudly as he pounded the Chew like some wild, untamed animal. He fucked harder, getting even more turned on, by the smacking sound his balls and hips made while making contact with the Pikachu's pelvis. He led forward with his hands on the ground on either side of the Pikachu and bit her neck. His fangs dug into the nape of Pikachu's neck, drawing blood as he neared his orgasm. Oh, God! And with one finally slam, Sonic ejaculated deep into his victim's ass, staying there as an orgasm that rivals the one he had when Pikachu shocked him watched all over his body. When he was sure he emptied his balls into the Pikachu's rectum, he pulled out and sat behind it, panting wildly. By this time, the sun was setting, and he remembered Tails wanted him back before sundown. Whoops! Time to go! He got up and stared at the unconscious Pikachu's beaten and fucked body. He laughed coldly and started kicking dirt into her face. He bent over her body and whispered, "Thanks for the fuck." He spit in her face. "Bitch." Sonic laughed and grabbed a pile of teeth he stored aside and blasted off with Sonic speed. An hour later, the Pikachu woke up and started crying. Her little body ached so much, and she was left alone by a careless monster to deal with. She wept and wept, keeping the humiliating pose with her little ass in the air and her face down. Sonic's semen have slowly dripped into a virgin cunt, and she will end up giving birth to her and Sonic's child. It was twilight, and fireflies flew over her head. The last bit of sun shone on the autumn leaves, beautiful in any other occasion. This young Chew would be skipping the fields, playing with the fireflies until the sun finally disappeared over the horizon. But the once carefree Pikachu just laid there like a piece of used meat. She would never be the same. Sonic and Tails had the wedding of the century. All their friends and family were there, and they partied until sundown. Sonic made love to Tails that night, calling him a sweet little koibito, Japanese for lover, and they snuggled through the night. That day and night was the first of many, and Sonic and Tails lived happily ever after. The end.